Good morning and welcome to the planning briefing for Thursday, August 24th from Missoula, Montana. Looking at those key points, we're looking at widespread thunderstorms on Friday with a weak easterly gradient over the region. Then warming and drying through Tuesday underneath the ridge. Inversions will be strengthening through the weekend. A trough on Tuesday. We feel confident about breezy southwest winds. We're not as confident on the potential for a wetting rain in northwest Montana, and we'll get into that. So, looking at our weather threat matrix, I was talking about those widespread thunderstorms. The high-res models are showing the potential for some organization along a boundary. It'll basically be a weak wave coming up from the southwest. If that happens with a relatively dry lower atmosphere, we could be looking at strong outflow winds on Friday. And then general summer thunderstorms for north central Idaho and southwest Montana on Saturday, and then mainly confined to southwest Montana on Monday. Now, as that ridge builds and strengthens, we're looking at abnormally hot temperatures on north central Idaho, but I want to caveat that with it's not going to be similar to the abnormally hot temperatures we've had all summer. We're late into the summer season, days are shorter, nights are longer. We're going to be looking at 5 to 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. Then thunderstorms with that trough on Tuesday. The abnormally hot conditions move into northwest Montana, and then winds across western Montana. So the setup currently, you have the trough over the Pacific here, and then a trough over southern Canada here, and then we're expecting a ridge to sharply build over the region. Now, how strong that ridge builds and how deep it builds into Canada is how far this trough digs south, and that will have everything to do with what happens on Tuesday. So looking at those temperature trends, you can see the temperatures generally trend upwards through Tuesday. They'll peak out in north central Idaho on Monday, and then into western Montana on Tuesday. Now, if you look, I put down here the normal temperatures for the end of August. And in general, in western Montana, you're looking at mid to upper 70s, whereas in the lower elevations of north central Idaho, mid 80s. So if you look on Monday and Tuesday, for example, we're looking at 5 to 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. And then by Wednesday and Thursday, as that trough moves over us, 5 to 10 degrees below normal. Looking at, instead of looking at individual locations, we're going to look at it as a region. So overnight tonight through most of Friday, an easterly gradient, not overly strong. It's going to be a very weak gradient, and it's just going to be more of a wind shift from the east. Saturday through generally most of Tuesday will be a diurnal wind regime underneath that ridge of high pressure. And then as the trough moves in on Tuesday and Wednesday, winds will turn west-southwest and it'll become breezy. But as you can see, both Tuesday and Wednesday, winds are not overly strong. There is going to be a pretty decent gradient. There's going to be a little bit of jet energy. I do see the potential as the forecast matures that Wednesday's winds will be bumped up, but we'll deal with that in the future forecast. Just keep that in mind that the potential is there for those the wind gust potential to increase on Wednesday. This is your precipitation chances, and basically this is showing you precipitation amounts. Don't get wrapped around the numbers. These numbers will change, especially when we're talking afternoon thunderstorms. If you don't get hit by a thunderstorm, it doesn't matter what it says for a number, it's going to be 0. Okay, and not everywhere is going to get a thunderstorm. Even on Friday when they're widespread, we're looking at 25 to 30% chance. So that means there's a 70% chance you're not getting a thunderstorm. The main concern on Friday, just remember, strong outflow winds if they organize along a boundary. And then that potential gets limited to north central Idaho and southwest Montana on Saturday. And even though it's not showing, it'll continue into Sunday, but more along an isolated and probably the terrain. And then by Tuesday, Wednesday, we're showing that trough. And once again, that's all dependent on how strong that ridge bumps up and how deep the trough can dig over the weekend. If it digs sufficiently far south, then I think there's a pretty good chance of a wetting rain in northwest Montana. If not, well then it'll be more spotty precipitation amounts. Long term, this pattern of storms riding a ridge from Alaska down through the Pacific Northwest is continuing in the 8 to 14 day. You can see that in the precipitation outlook being above normal for the region and temperatures near normal. Well, all right. Thank you for attending the brief. Our next briefing will be Sunday, August 27th. If you have any questions at any time, don't hesitate to give us a call at 329-4841, or you can email us at nws.missoula@noaa.gov. Have an excellent day. We'll see you at the next briefing.